The opening match to Hell in a Cell 2014 is Dolph Ziggler defeating Cesaro in the first 2 falls in a 2 out of 3 falls match to retain his Intercontinental Championship. And this was a great match to open the card, very enjoyable to watch, great wrestling from both wrestlers, and even though Dolph Ziggler won the match and retained his Intercontinental Championship, Cesaro was man of the match. Brilliant performance. It's just a shame that he's putting on great performances, but the WWE still haven't brought him up to the place where he should have been following last WrestleMania. But hopefully that will change for him the more he continues to put on great matches. I felt the 2 Divas matches were linked in a way on this pay-per-view for the future going forward for the Divas involved. First, you have Nikki Bella defeating Brie Bella, which now means Brie Bella becomes Nikki Bella's assistant for the next month. So expect Nikki Bella to be taking advantage of Brie Bella in comedy skits, matches. And one match I think she may be used in is Nikki Bella versus AJ. Because now AJ's defeated Paige in a match that should have been a submission match, which would have made the match better, and more than likely the better Diva match of the night instead of the Bella match. Because with the advantage Nikki now has, Brie Bella could help Nikki become champion, which would then later mean the feud between the Bellas would be for the Divas Championship, while Paige is wrapped up in a feud with Alicia Fox, which is sadly not as good as her feud against AJ, but this is disappointing because there's not enough top divas to keep us interested in where these divas go next. Even though the Tag Team Championship match was okay, it's going to get a bit stale, because if these are the only real tag teams you've got, week after week we're going to be seeing the same thing with a few extra exciting moves perhaps, but what we need is another newer tag team or a stable tag team to come in and start to add more interest. Not repeated matches each and every week, each and every pay-per-view. Give us something more, because you've got some good performing tag teams here. They just need better feuds going forward. And this brings on to the Ascension. When they come in, are they going to be a dominant tag team and then leave them with no competition? I'm not trying to bash them their debut, but without the competition, they'll just storm through the tag division and that'll be it. The first Hell in a Cell match of the night is the #1 contendership for Brock Lesnar, his WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And John Cena defeats Randy Orton inside the cell, which means that Cena's going off to face Brock Lesnar again. And in a previous video, I said how Orton, especially with this returning Viper, he should be getting his place to go off and face Brock Lesnar. New match, it is heel versus heel, but I'm sure they could make it work, and Orton would be getting his WWE World Heavyweight Championship rematch. He won't have to win because we still want to somehow get Brock and Reigns at WrestleMania, but I felt that it would have been a lot better than Cena. But this match was just full of finishers, and there was loads of complaints on Twitter. And even though I can understand why, I love when Orton does, some of the time, the RKO out of nowhere. The way he can quickly do it when there's a move being performed to him where it looks like he's getting himself beaten and all of a sudden RKO. And I would have preferred an RKO through a table that can actually break than John Cena putting Orton through it for the win. And a quick spoiler, in the main event, which the WWE, by the way, great thinking for having Orton complaining that he wants to be in the main event of Hell in a Cell, but actually giving it to the wrestlers and the match that fans are tuning in to this pay-per-view to see. Brilliant thinking. I would have used Kane in this match. Maybe Kane tries to help Orton but fails and Cena still gets the win. Because I felt what happened in the main event was enough instead of having 2 interruptions. But I'll get to that later. How do I feel about this match? I felt that even though I can see why Cena won, I still wanted Orton, rooting for Orton. But it is what it is. And hopefully Cena will lose yet another match to Brock Lesnar. Even though Sheamus defeated The Miz to retain his United States Championship, it weren't really about the performance of the match. It was about the performance of the ever so funny Damien Mizdow. As during the match, and especially after, when Sheamus was controlling The Miz to get Damien Sandow to dance and do the YMCA, it was just pure brilliance. One of the commentators, though, asked a very important question. Do you think it bothers The Miz, who recently returned, that the concentration and the love and the cheers are more on Damien Mizdow? Because in the feud going forward, you'd expect it to be about putting over Damien Mizdow, unless, because of all the positivity Damien Mizdow's getting, giving Miz the win is going to put a lot of heel heat on him. I'm hoping that it is to put over Damien Mizdow because the WWE have failed him for so long. Trying to rebuild him, give him another chance, would be a great move. As for The Miz, I think even without Damien Mizdow, if he goes all cocky about protecting his face and cutting promos, I think there's a chance he could still be saved as the heel. So this match was just comedy, and I feel going forward we're going to have Sheamus defending his United States Championship against Rusev, and then have Damien Mizdow and The Miz going forward to more comedy roles before eventually facing each other. As predicted, Rusev defeated The Big Show. I thought this was a good match, big guy versus big guy. It gave us what we expected and wanted, but I feel that Rusev is a wrestler now who could have gone into this match and gone with the typical 2-on-1 handicap tag, because I think it would have done better for the dominant Rusev to have taken out both giants in one match like he did tonight. But as for the undefeated streak, I'm hoping he is not going to be fed to John Cena, because I'm really sorry, the way that Rusev's being booked as this dominant heel that needs to be put down, you don't need John Cena to do it. You need to find a credible babyface, a growing babyface, but you want to get the positive reaction by defeating Rusev. John Cena does not need that. All that will do is knock Rusev down a few pegs instead of losing to someone who we can give credibility to. So if they are going to continue this feud for one more night, one more month, give us a handicap match, Big Show and Mark Henry versus Rusev. You could then have Mark Henry turn on Big Show, giving Rusev the win. But I just think the tease of a handicap match and the dominance from Rusev would be good to see. Now for the match that I'm sure most fans, especially after what I've read on social media, that fans were watching this pay-per-view to see, and that is Seth Rollins defeating Dean Ambrose. And even though Seth Rollins, Mr. Money in the Bank, is looking very strong, I'm liking that. A Mr. Money in the Bank is looking credible and good, brilliant. I'm waiting to see when and how Ambrose gets one up over Rollins. But this match is, what I'm going to say is the best Hell in a Cell match we've had in the PG era. I just thought there was pure brilliance to this. Starts off with something that fans expect or want to see in a Hell in a Cell match. Ambrose at the top of the cell, ready for business. He's got a kendo stick, and it starts off then with a 3-on-1 handicap match. And they're fighting up there. Ambrose is looking strong when he gets his payback. And then you have a fall off the side Hell in a Cell through the announce table. The WWE were very clever, making us think that that's the match over. They're getting carried away by medics. And all of a sudden, Ambrose, the crazy guy who could fight through pain, goes out in the attack. The match continues. And this match, fans were thinking, okay, it's starting to get boring now once they got into the Hell in a Cell. But I still thought these two put on a great main event. Very entertaining. They even did the tease of the concrete blocks. You have an interference from Kane, which, like I said, he should have possibly came out in the Kane and the Orton and Cena match. But he had a small part. It came down to the match looking like it was going in Ambrose's favour, but then all of a sudden the lights go out. And straight away, people were saying Bray Wyatt. And so it was. With this repeated quote, instead of a video package like we've seen over the previous weeks, we just hear this quote. Then a hologram in the ring. Bray Wyatt runs through it and takes down Ambrose. Okay. I said before this match started, these two should have just a normal one-on-one Hell in a Cell match to bring the pay-per-view to a great finish. I'm not disappointed that Bray Wyatt got added because it was unexpected, which we like in the WWE. It sets up the next feud, but at the same time, I feel that this match deserved a proper finish between these two. But Rollins takes advantage of the beatdown and picks up the win. But now I want to go on to my overall thoughts. Okay, I felt this pay-per-view had a good, solid opener, very entertaining, gave us a good start to the pay-per-view. The right main event, the main event that fans wanted to see as the main event, and the match that fans were tuning into this pay-per-view to see. We had no new champions crowned. The Intercontinental Championship match with the thought of Barrett returning. Is he still going to return back as a heel to take on Dolph Ziggler? Or have the WWE got another feud in mind so we get a heel champion to take on Barrett as a returning face? The tag team division and the Divas division. They may give us good matches to pay-per-view, but where does the winner take the championships next? Where do the Gold Brothers and AJ take it next? I may have taken predictions earlier, but without those predictions, we're left wondering, without getting some idea because of the other quality wrestlers and divas we have in the WWE. So, are we going to be getting Sheamus versus Rusev for the United States Championship feud next? Cena versus Brock. Cena versus Brock again. Whenever the championship match is, Brock should retain. Because if Cena wins, Brock's meant to get a rematch and the feud is going to be stretched out, where if it's the end of Brock Lesnar fitting in one more feud before WrestleMania other than repeated Cena matches, I think maybe more beneficial, or just defeat Cena and then build up to your WrestleMania opponent. Then I think if we're having Bray Wyatt and Ambrose go off from the tease we got in the main event, are we going to have the Rollins and Orton feud? Because Orton's not going against Brock, so Orton will need something to do going forward. If they're the feuds going forward, okay, you've done an okay tease over the last month and on this pay-per-view. And a final question, which is not really related to Hell in a Cell, is Survivor Series is the next pay-per-view. It's been a thought in my mind recently, trying to build a Survivor Series match. What's the Survivor Series match? What are your predictions? But now give your thoughts on this pay-per-view as a whole. I've said a lot in the overall thoughts, just because I feel that with the results we've got, it's left some thoughts going forward. Until next time, YouTubers, from me, NJ, one half of the British Fist, thank you very much for watching and goodbye.